If you don't speak up for who you are, someone else will speak for you. And trust me, they won't speak your truth. They'll tell you who you're not. They'll define your limits, your possibilities, your worth, before you even have the chance to try. Right now, the world is whispering in your ear, you're too small. You can't do that. You're not ready. But what if I told you you don't have to accept those labels? You don't have to live under their definitions. Today, I'm going to show you why claiming your identity is the most powerful act you can take, and how doing it will completely change your life. Welcome back, English learners, to English Story Class. I hope you will learn a lot in today's episode. Grab a pen and notebook, and let's begin. The world wants to define you. Think about it. From the moment we're born, society starts to put us in boxes. You're too sensitive. You're too ambitious. You'll never be an artist. You're not smart enough. You're too loud. You're too quiet. Every single label, whether from your family, your teachers, your peers, or the media, is an attempt to define your life for you. Society thrives when we accept its definitions. When you let the world define you, you give away your power. You let fear, doubt, and judgment dictate your choices. You start living according to someone else's script, and you forget to write your own story. But here's the truth. Labels only stick if you let them. No one can tell you who you are unless you allow it. No one can decide your worth unless you hand it over. The psychological battle. Inside your mind, there's a battle raging. On one side is your internal truth, your desires, your talents, your dreams, the person you know you can be. On the other side is the world's judgment, the voices that say, you can't, you shouldn't, that's impossible. This battle is psychological, it's mental, and it's real. Many people spend their entire lives letting the world win this battle. They conform, they settle, they shrink themselves to fit someone else's expectations. But you, if you choose to fight, you can change the outcome. The first step in this battle is simple. You must speak. You must declare. You must name your truth out loud. Why speaking your truth matters. When you say who you are, something magical happens. You take control of your narrative. You stop being a passive character in someone else's story. You start shaping your destiny with clarity and intention. Think of it like planting a flag on your own life. The moment you declare your dreams, your values, your identity, you're telling the world, this is mine. I own it. I will not let you define me. This isn't just about ego. It's about survival, mental, emotional, and even spiritual survival. When you fail to define yourself, the world will. And more often than not, the world will define you in ways that limit you, that confine you, that silence your potential. Look at every great leader, every revolutionary, every pioneer in history. They all had one thing in common. They refused to be defined by society's limits. Oprah Winfrey grew up in poverty and faced constant criticism, yet she defined herself as a media powerhouse long before anyone else believed in her. Steve Jobs was called a dreamer, an impractical thinker, someone who would never succeed, but he declared his vision for Apple, and the world eventually followed his definition. Malala Yousafzai risked her life to declare that education is her right, regardless of what oppressive society tried to tell her. Each of them won because they refused to let the world tell them who they were not, and the world eventually had no choice but to acknowledge their truth. The cost of silence. Now let's talk about the other side of the coin. What happens if you don't declare yourself? If you stay silent, the world will fill that silence with its own version of you. You may think, I'll just wait. I'll figure it out later. But here's the danger. Every day you remain silent, the world's narrative gains strength. Every day doubt grows. Fear grows. Regret grows. You'll start living a life that doesn't feel like yours. You'll start apologizing for existing, for dreaming, for speaking up. And one day you may wake up and realize Decades have passed, and the world has defined you instead of you defining yourself. How to take control. So how do you take control? How do you make sure you're the author of your life? Here's the roadmap. 1. Identify your truth. Ask yourself, who am I, really? What do I stand for? What do I want to achieve? Write it down. Speak it aloud. Let it be clear in your mind. 2. Declare your identity. Don't wait for permission. Say it out loud. I am, I will, I can. When you speak it, you anchor it in reality. 3. Act in alignment. Your words mean nothing without action. Live according to your declaration. Make decisions, take steps, and build habits that reinforce your identity. 4. Ignore the noise. The world will resist. People will doubt you. They'll tell you to stay small, but the noise is a sign you're on the right path. Keep moving. Keep defining. 5. Repeat daily. Identity is not a one-time declaration. It's a daily practice. Every choice you make either reinforces your narrative or lets the world define you. Choose wisely. Overcoming fear. I know what you're thinking, but I'm scared. What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? Good. That's exactly the feeling you should have. Fear is the compass pointing you towards your growth. The moment you feel fear is the moment you're about to step into your truth. Remember this, fear is temporary. Regret is permanent. And nothing is worse than living someone else's life, boxed in by labels that aren't yours. Every step you take toward declaring your truth, no matter how small, is a victory. Every time you speak up, every time you act boldly, every time you refuse to accept the world's narrative, you win. Right now, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, who am I if I ignore the world's labels? What would I do if I truly believed in myself? Write it down. Say it out loud. Declare it to yourself, to your friends, to the universe. This is your life, and you have the right, no, the responsibility to define it. And when you do, you will start to notice something incredible. Doors will open. People will respect you. Opportunities will appear. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. When you define yourself, you don't just change your life. You change the lives of those around you. Your courage inspires others to speak their truth. Your clarity gives them permission to step into their own power. Imagine a world where everyone defines themselves unapologetically. A world where no one is limited by society's labels. A world where people live boldly, speak freely, and chase their dreams relentlessly. That world begins with you. That change begins when you refuse to let anyone else tell you who you are not. So here's my challenge to you. Don't wait another day to declare your truth. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone else to see your worth. Stand up. Speak up. Define yourself. And remember this. The world can try to box you, label you, and define you, but it cannot change the truth of who you are. Only you hold that power. Only you can write your story. So start today. Take action today and live the life that is truly yours. Because if you don't, someone else will tell the world who you are not. And that is a life too small for your dreams. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, keep speaking English.